right, welcome back. Well, yes, as you've seen there, we do have Mr. Gunnar Maximus, who is the President, Association of Nigerians Community in Guangzhou, China. He joins us on the line this morning from Guangzhou. Good afternoon from your end, but it's morning here. Thank you for joining us today on the program. Well, it's very disturbing scenes and news filtering in from China to Nigeria about how Nigerians are being treated. Could you tell us what is going on? Why is all these things happening?
Yeah, exactly. The COVID-19. China thinks it has battled the COVID-19 to a standstill. Okay, they think that they have cured the disease completely. Now they have the news that the ones they have in China now are imported cases. Imported cases means they are from foreigners, So they begin to try to test and quarantine the foreigners who just arrived in China and all that, But the problem was the problem of communication. When it happened, they didn't inform our consulate or our embassy, They begin to, chase people away from their houses and forcing people into quarantine. Asking people to go on quarantine is good. There's nothing about that. But the approach, the way they used to do that, made people to feel bad about that. So that's what really happened. And many Africans in general and Nigerians were forced into quarantine, to various hotels, So that was really happened because now they think that the disease, the COVID-19 they have now are from foreigners, So that was what really.
So, if they are saying that it is foreigners and they're trying to get them into, quarantine, are Africans the only foreigners there? Why is it Africans that are being targeted?
Yeah, they are not foreigners. I'm sure it was generally for foreigners because I have a Chinese friend, the husband was from Australia. I asked her, she told me that her husband was also quarantined, Why the case was more because there was a Nigerian who the news carried that he tested positive, and he was admitted into the hospital. Okay, so on one of the days he tried to escape from the hospital and bumped into a nurse there. He injured the nurse. So it was on the news there that the Nigerian had the COVID-19 and he was trying to escape and injured the nurse. So that flared up the situation. That worsened the situation, and the Chinese people in Guangzhou, they continue to be afraid of the people. And I wish to let us know that this is not happening the whole of China. It's just one city in the whole of China. That's in Guangzhou. And I'm hearing about China. I wish to make it clear that it's not the whole country of China. It's just in one of the cities in Guangzhou.
Well, the thing is, it shouldn't even happen at all. So Guangzhou is a city in China. So if people say it's happening in China, maybe that's what they mean in Guangzhou, China. But it shouldn't even happen at all. But we get your point. But, for that person who tried to escape, is the Nigerian community in touch with him? Any reasons why he tried to escape?
Yeah, exactly. I personally went to visit him to hear his own side of the story, I went to him and asked him what really happened. He made me understand that he was sleeping and the nurse woke him up, so he didn't know what really happened, and that was the case, and he apologized for his actions, So that's really what happened. He was sorry about his action and what really happened.
From where you stand as president of the Nigerian community there, how many Nigerians are affected by this occurrence?
Here we don't have the exact number. As far as I'm concerned, you see, I try to, I have meeting with various authorities in Guangzhou here. On the 5th of this month, I had meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and also Guangzhou PSB. On the 7th of this same month, I had meeting with Mayor of Foshan. So I told them that sometimes our people have some kind of sickness like malaria and typhoid fever. And sometimes when they test those people who have symptoms of malaria and typhoid fever, they think that people have the symptoms of COVID-19. So we don't have a handful of numbers of Nigerians who have that disease here. They still have the symptoms, okay? Maybe one or two, but not much.
Options are open to Nigerians who, okay, let me ask this first. Before COVID-19, were there such occurrences, were there such skirmish between Nigerians and Chinese or Chinese officials?
Yeah, before this time sorry, come again, please, come again.
I said before this coronavirus disease issue started, were there occurrences of any problem between Nigerians in China and Chinese people, or Nigerians in China and Chinese officials?
Actually, no. I've been living here for a long time. Nigerians here have been living happily, peacefully with the residents and the Chinese citizens. There was no problem. So this thing came because of the COVID-19. Before this time, there was no problem. We've been living happily as friends and mutually respecting each other. That was what caused this was this COVID-19. I told you the Chinese people they are always afraid. They think that they will be affected by the disease. But before now, there was no problem.
Now, from what you know as president of the Nigerian community in China, what's the official position? What's the body language? What's the status of the Nigerian government or Nigerian embassy or Nigerian consulate in China at this moment, especially about this matter?
Yeah, you see, not only Nigeria, African ambassadors and consulars have had series of meetings, because of this issue. And in connection with Nigerian embassy and consulate, Nigerian embassy in Beijing, they have been doing their best to cushion the effect of this problem, And also our consulate here in Guangzhou, they've been doing their best, Some of our consulates, sometimes they go from hotel to hotel to give food and materials to people who are quarantined in various hospitals. They've been trying their best. And also, we heard information that the government of Nigeria will evacuate Nigerian citizens in the nearest future. That will be a welcome idea because many Nigerians want to travel back home because of the situation so far now.
We hear now from what you just mentioned now, we hear that the Nigerian government is saying that it will be at the expense of the Nigerians in China. How comfortable are those Nigerians with that?
Yeah, they have no option, Many of them want to travel back to Nigeria, and if they see the flight, they don't care paying for their flight ticket, but they wish the Nigerian government will foot the bill for them if it's possible.
I know that the foreign minister here had spoken about, when he was talking about some of the things that were happening and playing themselves out, he mentioned blood tests being taken about over 2-3 times from the same people, the same Nigerians. So in terms of some of those specific actions, you then wonder, were you in the know about that kind of event that occurred where they were taking blood samples from the same person? Do you know that? What was the reason why that happened?
Yeah, I'm aware of that, and the doctors say that it's normal because I called lots of Nigerians here, and many of them say their blood we are not taking. So the blood taken from people are just a few Nigerians, not all. And I tried to find out. The doctors told me that it was necessary, because of the various tests that we are undergoing. I wish to tell you that not all Nigerians we are taking series of blood from the test.
So at the moment, what is the current situation now?
Yes, the current situation, I think the Chinese, things are getting better, right? But the Chinese or Guangzhou authority need to do more because some people are unable to go back to their various houses, And the taxes, when people stop the taxes, some of them don't allow our people to enter the taxes and all that. So I hope the Chinese or Guangzhou authority will do more to help the situation. That's the situation for now, but I hope and I'm sure things will get better in a few days.
But the other thing about this is that this is, as you say, that this is necessitated as a result of this COVID case. But there are visuals, images we've also seen coming through from China that suggest that this might have been happening longer than now. But is there any guarantee, from what you see, there are those who are also concerned about, much as this is happening now, what's the assurance that when quote unquote COVID is all over, this will not be part of the lifestyle, because there may be those who have internalized this kind of actions who may keep carrying them out. Is the police authority doing anything about this?
Yes, the Chinese authorities, they are doing their best also to cushion the effect of the problems here. But it cannot. It's difficult to stop it automatically. So with time, I'm sure they will do the best. From time to time, when there's problem, I personally call the police and the immigration, and they listen to me. They try to make necessary calls for people to go back to their houses, and the effect will not linger for a long time. I'm sure it will not linger for a long time. In a few days, I'm sure everything will come to normalcy.
Are Nigerians who live in China, irrespective of what is happening, we understand that business is beginning to pick up in China as well already. Are Nigerians or Africans allowed to go back to work? Do they continue their businesses?
Yeah, we are talking about China. China, many places, they're normal situation. But in Guangzhou, many businesses are still closed. The shops are still closed, Sorry. And some of the malls, are not allowing our people to enter to buy things. But I'm sure with the extent of things, because after the quarantine, they were given like a receipt, a paper, a document to show that they are negative, they have no problem. So with time, this needs orientation. That's why I'm saying that the Guangzhou authority needs to give their people orientation that the foreigners are not the carrier of the COVID-19. And the foreigners are free, and most of the foreigners are negative. So it behoves on the Guangzhou authority to talk more to their people, give them orientation, so that things we take effect, the business will take effect normally, and normalcy will return to the city of Guangzhou.
This is happening in Guangzhou, and we pray it doesn't happen anywhere else. But is there any plan by your association, some kind of plan just in case this kind of thing happens? Any insurance, any proactive action in plan by your association, maybe in connection with the Nigerian government there, to forestall such a recurrence?
Yes, we've been doing that. We've been sharing information, messages, and a lot of things to make sure that this doesn't recur in the future. And the Nigerian government here, Nigerian embassy, and Nigerian consulate are doing their best. And also Nigerian community here, we are doing our best to make sure that our people are not, are not feeling bad again, are not feeling hurt again, and they feel good and relaxed as it should be when they travel to other places.
We'd like to also get clarification on this. Is there a law that says that if a foreigner overstays their visa duration, they will be put in prison for a month before they're allowed to go back to their country? Is that anything you have seen, and does it have any roots in law in China?
In China, like I told you, different cities have their different ways. If, for example, if one overstays here and he's arrested, and if we find out the person might leave before the duration we're talking about, sometimes within 2 weeks, if we process his documents, get the TC. If he has no passport, we need to get the TC, his travel certificate from our consulate, then he will travel as soon as possible. Yeah, but some people also, we tell you lie, some people who stay longer in the detention are some of the people who don't have wouldn't have verifiable documents. So it becomes difficult for them to leave to go away from detention and return back to Nigeria. But people who have verifiable documents, like Nigerian passport, it doesn't take all that long for them to go back to Nigeria when they were caught staying there illegally.
Now, another angle is how this has affected, business operations. We touched on that earlier on, but we'd like to know now, with the gradual opening up in China, and I want to believe that you're into business as well as a lot of your other members in China. How do you see business opening up? Because we understand China plays a huge role in production, not just for the region, but for the whole world. So how is that playing out? How is the opening up of businesses? How is that working out for you?
Yeah, the opening of business will take a gradual process. But I wish to also make it clear that what is happening is not from the mind of the central government of China. There is there in that city. So the business will open normally, but there are still a few Chinese who are avoiding our people, which will affect the reopening of the business, different business. Like I told you, most times they're afraid of the disease. They are very much afraid. So when this is done, when the fear or the avoiding of foreigners stop, I'm sure everything will come to normalcy. The business, the shops, the factories will open to normalcy.
All right, just before we let you go, you said the other time that we hope that things will return to normal very soon. Part of normal would be how the people feed. We understand that as a result of this whole occurrence, Nigerians were denied access to restaurants, quarreled into quarantine and all of that. What's the status about that now? And when do you see all of that being resolved?
Yeah, it's in the past 1 or 2 weeks it was much, but now I've been getting information and calling people. Things are getting better, but it will not be in a swift moment. Maybe in the next few days, maybe in the next week, next 1 or 2 weeks, things will normalize. I'm sure. I've been here for a long time, so I'm talking from experience. So in the nearest future, things will return to business, and the factories and shops, restaurants we open normally, and normal business will happen.
Maximus, thank you very much indeed for talking to us this morning. Okay, so we will be back in just a moment. Stay with us.